can resist it? John Kerry is our climate czar, and he uses a private jet. It's like if the Secretary of Homeland Security smuggled drugs in his butt. People take jets to environmental conferences. If you could run TED Talks on hypocrisy, you wouldn't need coal. But sorry, not sorry. I tried to do my part for the environment. I never had kids. The one thing worse for the planet than private jets. A third category, those who could but do not, does not exist. Except for Ed Begley and Greta Thunberg. And that's why you never see a picture of her smiling. Ed and Greta, that's who walks the walk. Everyone else is full of and I'm done being I can take being a bad environmentalist because almost all of us are, but I can't take.
If there's one thing that never goes out of style, it's hypocrisy, especially when it's cruising through the sky in a celebrity-owned private jet. And Bill Maher just ripped the glittery wrapping off that hypocrisy with the kind of energy that makes Hollywood publicists wake up sweating. He didn't just call it out. He practically lit it on fire and roasted s'mores over the flames. And honestly, it needed to be said. Nothing exposes performative activism faster than someone preaching climate salvation from 30,000 feet. Maher opened by joking about climate czar John Kerry treating private jets like a company car, which hits hard considering the guy represents U.S. climate policy. It's like appointing someone to run the DEA and catching them selling out of a gym bag. Maher's bigger point was simple. The issue isn't imperfection, it's pretense. Don't lecture the world about emissions while burning more fuel than a cargo ship. He even admitted he's not Captain Planet, but at least he's honest about it. According to him, true eco-consistency is basically down to two people, Ed Begley Jr. and Greta Thunberg, who only look serious because the rest of us make her job impossible. Then Maher aimed straight at celebrity culture, rolling out a montage of stars preaching carbon reduction while stepping off jets that could melt a glacier. And if someone wasn't shown, he joked it was either because he couldn't use their photo or their show got canceled.
Now enjoy this fun photo collage of some of your favorite stars and politicians who speak about the need to reduce our carbon footprint, but who are always on private planes. That's right, all of them. If you don't see a celebrity's picture here, it's because we weren't allowed to use it. Or their series got canceled. But all the environmentalists of Hollywood and Washington do it. Their position on climate change is, we must do more to stop pouring carbon into the air, except for me when I want to go somewhere and then I take a private jet.
Hollywood virtue signaling with a gash of spite. Tasty. Yet beneath the jokes sits a fact everyone recognizes, but few are bold enough to voice. These climate spokespeople, these prize-winning planet savers, are just as hooked on comfort as the folks they scold. They'll jet from continent to lecture at a charity gala about protecting the planet while leaving a carbon footprint so huge Bigfoot could slip his boots into it. And Ma labels it exactly right. Performative activism, the kind that photographs beautifully in a Vogue layout, but folds faster than a bargain bin lawn chair the moment you actually look at it. Then Maher tosses out this gem. There are two types of people on Earth, those who fly private and those who absolutely would if they had the chance.
It turns out there is one thing in this world that is completely impossible to resist, and this is it. It's like heroin. If you do it once, you'll never stop. There are two kinds of people in the world, those who fly private and those who would if they could.
And honestly, fair enough. But here's the twist. If you're the public face of a climate crusade, if you're preaching sustainability to millions, then maybe, just maybe, ditch the private jet and grab a seat on Southwest with the rest of us mere humans. Because nothing torpedoes credibility faster than demanding everyone else sacrifice while you glide above the rules in a champagne-soaked cabin. And Ma doesn't spare the politicians either. John Kerry, Hollywood A-listers, Democratic lawmakers, the entire do as I say, not as I do brigade gets hauled into the spotlight.
Ed Begley and Greta Thunberg. And that's why you never see a picture of her smiling. Ed and Greta, that's who walks the walk. Everyone else is full of and I'm done being I can take being a bad environmentalist because almost all of us are, but I can't take being a hypocrite.
Democrats, he says, love to run on eco-responsibility. Yet the moment a Napa fundraiser appears on the calendar, they're back on a private jet quicker than you can utter carbon offset. At least Republicans aren't pretending to be environmental saints, he jokes. They've accepted their SUVs and steak dinners without apology. It's the duplicity that pushes people over the edge. And Ma isn't off base. If the loudest champions of climate reform won't abide by their own standards, why should anyone else treat the message as serious?
No one can resist it. John Kerry is our climate czar, and he uses a private jet. It's like if the Secretary of Homeland Security smuggled drugs in his butt. People take jets to environmental conferences. If you could run TED Talks on hypocrisy, you wouldn't need coal. But sorry, not sorry. I tried to do my part for the environment. I never had kids. The one thing worse for the planet than private jets.
Then he unleashes the harsh numbers, the ones everyone conveniently skips over. In 2021, 80% of new cars weren't electric or hybrid. They were SUVs and trucks. Coal consumption sat at virtually the same percentage in 2019 as it did back in 1973. And plastic recycling? Don't even bring it up. 5%. 5. Which means that blue bin of yours is basically a stage prop to soothe your conscience. And once you realize that all the summits, all the celebrity pledges, all the "we stand with the planet" Instagram posts have shifted reality almost not at all, it stings. Ma isn't merely roasting hypocrisy. He's highlighting how the climate cause has turned into showbiz for people who crave applause but dodge responsibility.
2021, 80% of new vehicles weren't electric, weren't even hybrid. They weren't even cars. They were SUVs and trucks. That's what people want. In 1973, the share of global electricity generated by coal was 38%. You know what it was 46 years later in 2019 after all the talk and all the trying? 37%. You know what percentage of plastic gets recycled? 5%. Those blue bins that are everywhere, they're not full of bottles, they're
Ma calls out the performative patriotism of those who loudly declare they're leaving America but never actually go. He points out that 59% of liberals say they've thought about leaving, usually after a political defeat or the cancellation of their favorite prestige TV show. But do they leave? Nope, they stay. Attend the Grammys, post selfies, and cash their checks.
If you run for office in America, you have to want to live here. I bring this up because there was a video that made the rounds recently by a woman who said she was a proud progressive and was running for state representative in New Hampshire, and yet posted this.
Is there a place we can move that people would be happy to have us, that we're not gentrifying or colonizing? I don't want to be a problem, but I need to get the out of this country.
The out of this country. The one you want to be elected to a leadership position in? What was your campaign slogan? America, a shining shithole on a hill?
Miley Cyrus once said she'd leave if Trump became president. Yet there she was, glamorous on stage, not fleeing oppression, just posing for the cameras. And Ma makes the point loud and clear. These people know how good they've got it here. Their actions always contradict their words. He contrasts this with those who truly risk everything to get here. People who cross deserts, oceans, and borders, not because America is flawless, but because even its flaws are better than the alternatives. That's what makes the "I'm escaping America" crowd so out of touch.
Maybe the problem isn't that America isn't worth defending. Maybe the problem is that lots of people today are entitled whiners who have no perspective and no idea how good they have it. 59% of self-identified liberals say there have been times when they considered leaving America for good, like after NBC canceled The West Wing. I don't get it. You want so badly for every immigrant to come to this country and experience the good life, but somehow it's so terrible you want to leave?